3 o'clock, that means it's the final hour of trading in the trading session. Let's have a look at how things stand heading towards 4 o'clock. We are red on the S&P, the Dow trying to lead here 0.5%, about 0.4 to the downside for the NASDAQ. Tech stocks have been under pressure all day long. Brazil having a nice day, crude oil having a nice day. Crypto's pretty flat. We checked, Walmart still not accepting cryptocurrencies, guys, at last check anyways.
Oh my!
What? They're not accepting Litecoins? Damn it!
Let's go.
I'm screwed.
Sterling, you didn't really think we wait. Well, you didn't think we'd wait for Tesla. No, of course. We're just talking in the chat here. Tesla all the way back. It's all the okay. Well, it was higher in the pre-market, so technically it was at 745. Or just slightly lower than that in the pre-market, but falling like a rock at the open, right off of 740. I'm already short at 739 here off of that top. I'll take some out 36. I'll take some out in the 30s as well. Gamestop has been ridiculously strong. Affirm was an absolute gong show, Sean. Affirm was as much of a gong show as the Litecoin fake news was, which was as much of a gong show as the Bills and the Packers were over the weekend. So
wait a minute, that Litecoin is fake? Yeah, no, we're just playing around. Yeah, welcome to the fastest 60 minutes in YouTube's history. Yeah, it should be a fun one today, as there's lots to trade, man. We were shorting AMC going back long up and down and around early on, and then we, just thought that it was having a hard time at 53. So I kind of put a hero short in there, one there, and was able to cash it in all the way in the back to the downside. So, hey, what up, apes? You will see me in a little bit of AMC here to the wrong way if you're an ape, but we are short here, and we'll just see what happens into the close. No real ideas. We are very, very light on this position now. We take out 52.50. We can always get out of this one, and then think about that long breaking up to the upside right now. We'll check out that. You also might see me. Well, hopefully you do see me into Trox right here. So we talked about that one in there, out a little bit. Then all of a sudden it wipes down to the bottom, $23. We take that out, $23.30, then $23.76, and now we took just another piece out right here on VWAP. We'll wait to see if this goes higher, see if there's, like I said, when there's smoke, sometimes there's fire. So we'll see about Trox holding a small piece right here.
Absolutely, and as I sit there, trying to there it is. It's been a really long time since we used that Tesla one. Yeah, there we go. So it actually, I feel like it was better than it used to be. Anyways, 763 just came in on Tesla, so we'll quickly take a quick $3 scalp. I plan to be sort of net short this one as it heads probably back into 30s or VWAP. If it does a pop here, some more consolidation, I'd like to be able to add to it. I kind of feel like I was early to begin with because you have 42 and 45 as some of those highs. Oh yeah, and we're supposed to, I always say when in doubt, zoom out. I didn't actually zoom out on this one, and we talked about this, I think, in the morning show. We did actually. This 760 level, hard top, and then you break that range. It's a lot of times what happens when you break a range like this. It just becomes you can almost throw out all these levels and you go right back to what was previous resistance. So you had these failed wicks through 740, get up to 41, 42, sometimes 43, eventually broke out through that price. And then you get the same thing. You get some barcoding at 42 and then it comes down. And that's why, for me, getting into it before that, in the top end of the range, before it actually tests 42 to 45, made some sense. So if it hangs out here, I'd like to get more short. I see, oh goodness, I already said it. I was like, I'm not going to do the whole IC volume on IC, but yeah, I've already said it, so it's kind of too late for that. Spiking to the upside twice now on these ridiculous barcodes, and then volume spike 30 pennies, barcode, volume spike up 30 cents. It's now coming off, testing at least the second of those consolidations right here at 1475. So this one's giving it back. If it can find its way to settling down and maybe holding this morning low, morning resistance here at 1470, I think it has a chance to go again. But those are one shot up and then just clear consolidation. Some buyers clearly stepping in. Hopefully they're not done because we'd love to be able to trade this one.
Yeah, exactly. I hear. There's a couple of different ones there that we've been trading in that same breath there. Okay, so just looking at AMC here, trying to find out what's going on with that one. A nice move back. Oh, Clover. So, look, I mean, whoops. Did I just write that in our chat? No. Okay, Clover, there it is. Well, you know what? I think this has a chance. I mean, look, we're fading out today, but you saw what Clover did last week. I mean, on the 10-minute chart here. Last time we were sort of down here, we did have, I mean, whether or not these levels are going to remain truthful or not down here is going to be one thing, but 840, 850, and then we started to go, and then we came in that very next day, and took off to $11 on no news. So if you're looking for something that could possibly be a swing trade at some point in your life, if not right now, then Clover might be one of those right now. Just giving you guys that update. I mean, we could go down to $6.75, $8. I mean, if you're or $7, if you're willing to hold it down to that, then this, I mean, it does have that opportunity to go one more time. And if it does go this time, guys, look, that's 11 here, 11 there, and 11 there. So if Clover does go, you may want to look at an 11 strike, as that looks like that's going to be in play one more time, Clover. Okay, ATER, we did have that one early on today, and it's just blasting off right now. Again, up to 18.15. And just look, when you're looking at spots, if you ever get long, you're looking at spots to get out. You know, Neil was talking about zooming out. Like, there's nothing wrong. Even just use their same daily chart here to take some of these pieces out. Remember, when it's 3 o'clock, you're not going to get those crazy, crazy moves. You may get them. Who knows? Some moves often happen after 4 o'clock when there's a little bit, you know, less in the way of hedge funds and things like that. But watch out for this. If you are long, or if it does take out 19, that's kind of a key level there for ATER. Let's not let that one come and go again.
Yes, and I'm going to get this one out of the way. Everybody send your positive thoughts and vibes to Mark Andrews from the Baltimore Ravens so that he can catch 6 passes for 80 yards and a touchdown tonight. That'd be fantastic. And now back to GameStop, which I'm just proud of myself that GameStop went parabolic and I have one execution on it, right? Like, it went, you had a 197 break, well, I mean 200 break, obviously, which, okay, we said in the morning show, take a long 200 break. I didn't take it, so you're not going to see it there. And then it got all the way up 207 half. I didn't get this short off of the lower high consolidation, but I then waited for exactly this price here at 206 to go short. I was in the money. This never happened. It didn't go to 203. It couldn't go any farther than 204 half. I then stopped out at break even instead of giving it towards the high. So discipline for me, at least for once on GameStop in the afternoon. It's progress for sure. Brendo?
Just production. Hey guys, a couple things. I wanted to mention this Walgreens. First off, market coming back to day lows. Yeah, day lows basically right now as we speak. But Walgreens, this was out a little bit earlier. A lot of you might have seen this, but some people who had a COVID-19 test at a Walgreens had their data exposed. Apparently, they had the records on the open internet. So Walgreens got sold off on that. Back down to 49 here, but we are coming into a decent spot here on the daily chart for WBA.
I like Walgreens, but that's not a good look.
No, yeah, you don't want to be, disclosing personal information, that's for sure. So, yeah, watch out for that. Okay, that's Trox. Another one here that we had on our Memes and Movers show actually was a pretty good one temporarily. When AI broke through 50, so it came right through that level. We do like those 50 breaks. It actually goes up enough for us to take 44 cents on it. Then it breaks through 50 and we do get out. Since then, we've been averaging in, and now you're going to see, like, we have this tick on. We got out basically for flat out of this trade right now, and now we have this trade on. So AI right here, 49.11s. I mean, it's flat, but if you look down here, I'm going to make sure where I have my stop orders. I'll have to double check that. I think I might have even got rid of them. But if you look down to AI, it's been a nice trade for you guys. Down to the downside here, 48. We're not going to wait for that. I'm thinking that this is a good spot to think about getting out, 48.90 or so on AI. But let's see if it can make its way back to the upside here and we don't have to worry about it. Here it comes ripping right now. But that's going to be a good little spot there, 48.90 or so on AI. You can see here on the 10-minute chart, those bottoms just the other day at 47. And then if you look at a daily chart, I mean, again, what a fall from grace this one has had. Just again, machine learning, AI, all the way to the downside here. There's been a lot of stocks taking these clubbings, I would like to say, down to the downside here because, wow, they just got beat down. Now we'll wait to see where this goes. But if you can take out that 50 period, I like AI on a swing trade breaking through 50, but it has to close the day above there. So right now we'll hold it out. It's small. I mean, right now it's a 5-cent loser. We've talked about that because we have a blended price. Our best in was 49. So, hey, that's why we have this blended price. Let's wait to see where we go now. I mean, if I can get some out at 49.30, we should probably do that and then give us a little bit of a runway back up to 50. But I think we could still get there. So let's wait to see there. What's up, Giovanni? Neil was looking at Upstart today. Maybe when he's free, he'll have another look. I know Neil looks at Upstart quite often.
Oh yeah, I've been saying like this one could be like finally in the midst of making a top. And when you have a stock this strong, you know what's hilarious about when we did our video, I was like right at the end of my breath, I was like, okay, well, Upstart, and then because of what happened in Affirm, blah, 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 when we're talking about charts that are giving you that bit of a top end. And this is what I was sort of getting at. We've seen what's happened on the daily chart, obviously, and we can go into, there was a shorting opportunity off that 70 level before, and then you get the spike up, rejects like 290, and then you get the big time rejection here through that other high. And this is going to, of course, be on Friday's action. That's why I came in saying, this is a stock that could be nearing that top, or at least showing signs of it. So you come in here and it sells off immediately at the open, actually breaks that support from the week at that 260 level ever so briefly, and now we're retesting the lower high. So lower high is about 283 at this particular point if you want to look at what happened on Thursday, and then again the lower high here on Friday at that same 283 level. We're holding this level now 1, 2, 3 times at 280 below it. So I think this is a pretty interesting stock. I would not be touching a 280 break because of that 283. It's one of the strongest names out there, and there's actually nothing bad to say about the company. It's just when you get parabolic moves like this, a lot of times you're looking for that retracement because the risk reward can be good. If I wasn't already in Tesla and looking for a potential reload, as it's right back to 740, then I might be thinking about an upstart if we broke 280, get into that target like $2 or $3 range, and then jump in for a short. And whoa, sorry, I don't mean to cut that off, but I was kind of finished the thought. But ATER just spiked to the downside here, so I'm looking 1675 VWAP in here. There's a lot of price acceptance from earlier. I did have a reversal to a long that worked, but the last of it stopped out when I reloaded at 1770. So let's see what can happen. 1675 looks pretty good for a dip buy.
Yeah, guys, we've talked about that, right? You got to watch for reload spots on daily charts and on, whatever chart time frame you want. I like to use a 20-minute chart for me, for sure, to give you some key levels. So ATER apparently they're starting to fall down. So, if you're going to look at this is a 1-minute chart. I actually don't see too much for a 1 minute unless you're talking about this 1630, 1640, and then I would just use 1580 as the very bottom here. But this may, again, back to VWAP, hasn't meant much on VWAP here. So if we go back to even a 10-minute chart, which is right here for ATER, again, very, very high. There's nothing here. So, when you're looking at these charts, I would just say 1580 if you're ever going to take a stab on the long side. 1550. Give it a little bit of room. So, 1550 or so as some protection spots there on ATER, Tyrion, if you are willing to take that trade through. Look at NEO today. Not a bad. Come on, daily chart. This is a 1-minute chart. Today we were long, got flushed out there, and look, I guess the long wasn't wrong. Even though the NASDAQ continues to make not new lows, it was just off new lows there. Actually, nice bounce back for NASDAQ right there. I wonder what's going on with that. But you see NEO doesn't say anything about that bounce back and just continues to be at this high spot right now. So 38.40, 38.50. Wow, we were right on this long here for NIO, but wow, did it crack enough in that NASDAQ chaos? Let's just keep going long every day on NIO, man, and eventually we'll be able to hold it for this big winner. I think it's one of the stocks that I'm up the most on, probably just simply show-wise here for you on the year, because NEO always seems to have these big runs.
Absolutely. Getting a question, what's up with T-Mobile? That's a great question. I haven't actually looked at T-Mobile at all today. Oh yeah, sitting on the. It's not like a crazy move down, and this is a very choppy stock, but. Yeah, this is a trend. I just absolutely see it just continuing what it's been doing. So I don't know that there's anything special about T-Mobile other than the market's a little bit weak today, so it's continuing to sell off, which it's been doing for a while. I don't know if this gets a little more interesting in the 120s to 125 range, but if you're at least, I guess it just bounced like 50, 60 cents. I don't know if that constitutes something that excited anybody just now, but if you look at Friday's action, at least it's holding up those lows. So on a weekday, a weak stock manages to hold up at the previous day's bottom. That's about the most I can give you, but I don't see anything spectacular or crazy going on here. I'm going to jump back over to Tesla because we got to talk about our trades. I'll stick with the higher time frame look here. So as I said, we scalped the first part out. Now we're going to get into this range here where 42 to 45 is going to be that top. So I kind of don't want to be reloading anything unless we've tested that 42, which is this level here. And then of course the top end is at 45. So I'd like us to test that top before we want to give any of that profit away. I did get some shares of ATER, 1696, a little bit in front of that 1675. So I don't know if I probably should have been more patient. I probably could have got something in the low 90s, but who cares? It's splitting hairs at that particular point. And then I never got into IC, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately is the other way to think about it here, because look, that's just complete barcoding action. Now, it has made some moves when it barcoded the last couple times, like I mentioned, but always zoom back out so that you can see both. That's your daily chart, but the 15 minutes is going to show you a heck of a lot better here. This is the top that you're looking at, those little spikes in. 1550, I think, is a hard top. I think there's going to be, if it goes into that price, it's almost certain that I would try to short in front of 1550 on IC, but you got to be willing to take a breakout as well.
Mary, put AMD on the watch. I mean, so first of all, we did cover right there at 52 flat, 52.04. So on AMC, we're holding a very, very small piece short now. Even just anything just to help watch it throughout the show here. So we are still short on AMC. I still do have, price targets in and around here. This is actually where I got out of my initial long. So this is what I mean by it's been a very, very choppy day for AMC. We play the momentum upside. And if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. I do put out a sticky note every day, and that's where we talked about AMC to the long side. So AMC long there and out. Then we averaged in, man, took it all the way down here to 50. We were going to use 50 as our out, and then all the way to the upside, got out at VWAP 51.50 there, 51.50. Then we're able to hold some throughout lunch. And then when it looked like it was breaking downside, we got out at 51.50 there, 51.66 or so. I guess there must have been some sort of a level there or something. I don't know why I would pick that level, and why not 51.50? I'm not sure. And if I would have picked 51.50, would have had it all the way. But we shorted again. Now it's coming back down, so let's wait to see what happens with AMC. Remember, we still have the imbalances to come. What's up, Bren?
Little one here just popping up again, guys. TMC, which is a former SPAC conversion. I guess it was Friday. This thing traded for the first time. This is the Metals Corporation. They focus on underwater sea minerals. So this thing halted early on this morning up to 15. We're back to, looks like 12, 13 area. But about 23 million on the float for TMC, catching a bit of a bid.
I know.
And it's halfway to that float today.
I was gonna say, I know we don't have, we have more people watching our early show than we do our afternoon show, but I just got another message from somebody on Twitter, look, Neil and I aren't selling you guys or helping you trade BTC or any of these other crazy things, guys. So look, if you ever get a message, definitely on Twitter from either one of us, or I'm also being followed on Instagram by some of these guys. So just make sure that you check out our spelling. And again, we'll never ask you for money or give you advice or anything like that. The only advice that we have is to watch the show every single day, and hopefully you'll be able to learn something from that. So that's just a little public service announcement. Please report all fake accounts. I also tried to get verified again, and they denied me. So I don't know what else we need to do for that. But AI, we just got out at 20 there, like we mentioned. If that would happen again, we'd like to take that. So we were down here at 48.90. We just got out at 20. So hopefully you guys took that with me at the beginning of the show. 48.90. You could have had 95s, 96s there, like we did. Right at the beginning of the show, it went down to that low at 305. So, that's a good opportunity. We just took 20 cents out there. I still have higher highs looking out here I have higher expectations. I don't think we'll get to higher highs, but higher expectations for AI. Hopefully we can take out this 50 level.
Absolutely, and the TMC is going to be on the radar. I mean, I don't know if I see a trade in it yet, but as you already roll over once, and that halt price was significant at 13.75, it certainly just piqued my interest, because if you look at where support has ended up being, at least in the afternoon since the halt, it's right at that jump-off point, at that $12 range. So it is worth looking at. ATER is just bouncing around off VWAP here, and I was willing to give it a little bit deeper. Like I said, I mean, if you look at support, it's right down here like 16.35, but it just bounced on a dime at that 16.75 once. And then the long doesn't quite make the move up into this 17.25 quarter area. After that kind of a flush, I'm about to tighten the stop up, and it's going to be like not even giving it past that 16.75. So I'm willing to get wicked out on ATER at this point. That would be just fine. Well, I mean, it wouldn't be just fine, but at this point, tightening it up makes some sense. If you remember back into Friday, just to quickly show you, it was very, very weak in the afternoon, and just consolidation fall, until it actually made a bottom at $11. So I don't want that happening to me here. Certainly, it was a decent breakout long. I wish I had not chased it quite as much as I did and only gone with the reversal on the short, but it is what it is, and things happen. I do still have, and I'll get this out of the way because I still have this LPTX nonsense from this morning, which I can probably cancel this ridiculous stop that I don't need. It's tested 190 a few times. I still have 197 from this morning, and I'm just gonna likely get it out somewhere around 175. I'm not even sure I get these 72s here because we gotta be flat at the end of the day, and if it ain't moving, then it ain't worth it. So gotta make sure I get a little more aggressive on that bid. And at some point, gotta mention a firm. I don't know. We left the morning show talking about 115 on a firm. Like, let's wait for 115, blah, blah, blah. It'll actually be the trade of the day because I think there's a lot to be learned from the drop that a firm had, and I'll talk our way through it in the trades that we had buying that dip. But 115 was a great turn. I did try the 112 successfully before the 115 opportunity. It just never, like, into 112, you had this strong move into that seller that we knew from the buying in the morning. So we shorted it. It was okay. It went down into VWAP. But there just wasn't anything that sort of set me off, like no big volume spike, no real parabolic move into that 115. It just kind of drifted in there, hung out like it was going to do a fail break. So it's like, don't get short yet, let it fail break up and then jump in. And it just didn't do anything. And then it slid to the downside, very nonchalantly here in a firm, which for a stock down 11%, given what it did at 121 on the air quotes offering, no SEC filing, as Brendan mentioned. I didn't know what to make of that. It just wasn't the way I expected it to get to 115. So no trade there despite calling out that level. Good sign, at least for a firm, is holding this 109 level all afternoon. If this were to break, it would be hard not to just take a clean breakdown of 109 on a firm. So I'm likely to do that strictly for the momentum.
Look, I mean, a firm, we'll just continue. I mean, join us every single day at 8:30. And then we had a firm live when that was starting to move down, and we were like, what the hell? An apparent share offering, but like Neil just mentioned, nothing there. And apparently, I just saw a tweet as well, Brendan, about this iPhone vulnerability now. Apparently, in a new iPhone, there's software, so hackers can get into all of your personal photos. No, just playing around. I don't know the story here, but it says like vulnerability affects most versions of the device. But that was a couple minutes ago, so I don't really see too much happening here. But I guess I always say this, and I've said it a couple times today, but like I don't like those stories, man. Like sometimes when there's this smoke, like people don't need reasons to sell stock, let alone when the stories are actually true. I mean, you can already see what happened to Litecoin and Walmart and all that stuff today. Like Apple now has a couple of back-to-back stories here that I'm not a huge fan of, man. I don't like this vulnerability. I know they're coming, I think it's, what is it, what did it say, 13th? Is it the 14th? I think they're having their, their release of their
tomorrow,
new phone. Yeah, I know the 14th is tomorrow, but I just don't know if that is when they're.
No, it is the 14th.
It is, okay, yeah, I thought so. So, that's coming tomorrow, and I mean, they always seem to get faded out on these releases just because, again, it's, what else do you have to offer us, right? I mean, I think that no matter what Apple says, everyone always wants more features, better price points, better this, better that. So you can't please everybody, and that's for sure with Apple. So I'm a little bit nervous here with this price action coming off the top there of all-time highs, and then back-to-back days here of not very successful stories. That's from what I can see, Brendan. You got anything else?
Yeah, it's the Washington Post that's reporting this, something called the new Pegasus hack. We can show that, Lucas. Thank you. New Pegasus hack found targeting Apple devices through iMessage. So I guess it's somebody trying to contact you through iMessage. The Israeli cyber arms dealers tool. So yeah, we'll watch that. But as you said, Sean, not much reaction there from the stock.
Cyber arms dealers tool. That just sounds badass.
I mean, that is pretty badass. Yeah, you never want to be attacked by those Israeli cyber arms. Yeah, okay.
It's like a villain in Spider-Man or something. I don't know.
It doesn't appear to be affecting Apple that much here, guys. I mean, if anything, Apple's actually gone up since this story. So I just wanted to bring it to you in case you're holding on to Apple there and you're wondering if it does crash, like what might be behind it. But that's a story that we found there, and Brendan just brought it to you. So unlike the Litecoin story, maybe this one has some weight to it. And based on Litecoin right here, you can see again the chart of Litecoin. It's actually up a little bit from sort of where we started before this story. I'm going to say what, I mean, this is not going to say this is what it was. 174, 175, something like that. The story comes out. We see this rip to 240, 250 right there. And then now, again, off of a little bit, but up to 180, 181. That's going to be a nothing move for Litecoin. It's just letting you guys know that, again, who knows, man? Maybe they just weren't ready to announce it. Who knows? We'll see where Litecoin goes. But if you want to nibble into some crypto at these levels, I can't blame you. I think that crypto's in a little bit of a downward not spiral, but a little bit downward momentum right now. We can talk about the charts more on that. I just don't know. A lot of you want to talk about stock, of course. So here's what about Rocket Companies, RKT? That looks like it's trying to move now. There we go.
I don't even know why I hit that.
That's okay. That's fine. I like those beats. Right now, Rocket starting to go up a little bit. Again, a highly shorted name. I'm in this for the long run. I'm actually out of it on my swing trade plays there. We were in for a while on this name, and actually we got pretty lucky there. We didn't make as much money as we should have, but Rocket off the bottom here, we just kept noticing these 20 bids, and then all of a sudden it got that meme treatment back in February. We went up to 42, 43 on a special dividend there, and then it came all the way back down. So Rocket is one of those names that does have that fuel behind it in case it wants to go. And then unfortunately for you AMC apes, I mean, we still are one. We've been long this name for a very, very long time. Almost every single day on the show. We're long, but here we take the short off that high. So now we'll wait to see where AMC goes. It just touched 51.80 again. I'm going to hold this. I think you get faded the rest of the day. Only 25 more minutes until the imbalances come out at 350. So that should be interesting to see.
Absolutely, and probably don't care about that for ATR, those imbalances. Definitely don't care about it for IC, which doesn't quite get to that 1550 Friday high before turning around. But I do have to care about it for Tesla, which I'm still in that 739 short, or at least some of it. We did take some profit. I took some profit on ETR. That's probably why I was hitting that key. So I don't know. We'll hit, I don't know, this one. Awesome. Why not? It's
awesome trade.
It holds 1675. You can see there, and then we're only able to get to the quarters before it turns around. So let's not look that gift horse in the mouth. Let's take some profit out. If we do get a nice consolidation and a break, I mean, I don't think shooting for more than 18 is all that reasonable. So I might as well just have something sitting out, at like 70. We'll call it 78. Why not? Right in this cluster, I mean, you can see the cluster right here. It's like 1770 up to about 18 even. Somewhere in that range on the lower end, I suppose, makes sense. If it can hold 75s, if it can't hold 75, I'm just going to be getting out of it. I'm now watching firmly IC as it is consolidating at 15 towards the top. Now, as I mentioned before, this might be 1523, but go back to Friday, 1550 is the Friday high, which I think will provide some resistance. It has been spiking like 20 or 30 cents at a time on these moves. So if it were to make that kind of a break off of this high of the day, that would also take you right to that 1550. So fitting that pattern in multiple ways makes a lot of sense to me if we can catch it. It's kind of weird, like Virgin Galactic, which, I'm not going to lie, I thought was a short today. That was wrong. Well, I mean, I had a chance to just walk away. I was sitting here and I got this rollover at 24 after taking the bottom break, and it made this low. And I was getting out in front of it, and then as it was on the bottom coming back in, I had a chance to cover some when it slowed up right at the previous low and right where I was getting shares out at the 75 mark. I didn't do it, instead decided to average into it, and then I don't stop out like you should. I hear it about like 24.10 around VWAP. I instead decided to take some more and then give it all the way to 24.50. So complete bungling of that trade. If I can, is there anything really bad here? I can shred myself. How about that? Does that work?
You're shredding money. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
You had money go through your head, and then it shredded it out there.
So I was shredding money on Virgin Galactic. And then, by the way, it just goes to 25 and is now barcoding at the midpoint. I still think the stock is going down. It just can't seem to really follow through when it starts.
What up, Luis? What up, everybody there on Twitter or on YouTube? Look, so my handlers apparently told me to short this AMC upside here, but right now we are really near. I got to phone these same people, I guess, and ask them if I should be covering this right now because we are right at this level of concern for me, and we may just get out of this. Again, futures starting to go back up, AMC starting to tip down. I mean, look, man, hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your handlers, because right now we are going to the downside. This is a dollar win right now, right? So that's what it is. Yeah, that is what a gift. It's not a gift. I keep saying this to Neil. It's not a gift horse. It's just a great opportunity to take cash. But you have to understand the saying, right?
I know.
That's why that's why Neil uses the saying. Again, anyways, we understand.
I don't even know what.
I don't even know where. I think you just came up with it and it stuck at one point. So okay, just to give you guys an idea here, I want to be short AMC into this close. If we do take out 52 again, I'm out. So we'll hold this all the way. If we take out 52, then I'll take that 75 cents and run away with that. So right now, AMC is going to be my number one stock today. And that's because we hammered the long and then we hammered the short. And yeah, I'll do that every time. That was the high there. We were shorting against that. And then we use 53 as our out. So that's how it makes, man. I trade off charts, off feel, and off 20 years experience. So that's what we're doing there. SDC still making moves to the upside now, and let's see where we go though from here, as that's starting to make some moves and not good ones in that aspect here. So sorry, what are we talking about here? SDC 612 just took a move out, sorry, through $6 up to 615. So again, Smile Direct, I think this might be a swing the other way. Heavily shorted name. I know that's the problem. My charts aren't loading again. SDC having some problems loading up here, but heavily shorted name, I believe, anyways, in the 20% or so. Let's watch this one and see if it does fade back in. That's Smile Direct, possibly back down to 550 tomorrow.
You might have mentioned Ford. If you didn't, we'll mention it now. Well, it's up. I have the chart of GM, but I'm just going to make the assumption that it's about the same thing here. GM finally breaking this consolidation that it's been in around this 50 level. So on the daily chart, actually looking pretty good to make another shot to the upside. Hopefully we can actually sustain some movement. The market goes down. Some of these names which have been beaten up, catching a bit of a bid. I always like that. Like, have a look at when the market looks a little bit weak, like what's showing you relative strength in that moment, and what I'm seeing right now is a little bit of that in GM and Ford. I like GM, Sean likes Ford. I think both of them have been relatively similar off of their current highs. I still am watching this IC, and GameStop, I know GameStop's coming down, but I'm looking like 202 was a lower high that it put in, but 200 was the afternoon break. So I'm kind of looking at 200 for that stock. So not really on my radar just yet in GameStop, but I see holding, and again, you can look at a 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minutes, all going to show you 15.25. I still like that 15.50 level. That's going to be one for me. The longer ATER fails to go, now I know it's trying to break the high, but a lot of times as it's going to the upside and testing the level where I took profit before, as it's starting to work, I'm starting to think about, okay, what's the worst case scenario? If it cannot break through this, get back to where I got stopped out on the other long, and that's around 17.45, 17.50. If we can't break through there, get this test up into this cluster, then I'm not even sure this 16.75 doesn't turn into a short. I hate shorting a breakdown right at VWAP, but clearly there's a little something to that 16.75 level. For now, we're in the money, about 40 pennies on the rest of it. I already have my offer sitting here in the 70 range to see what happens on ATER. Not a heck of a lot. I mean, I see. Oh goodness, I said I wasn't going to do that.
I see.
And then ATER at the tops, and of course Tesla's at the top, but I'm shorting that because why not, right?
Yeah, right, exactly. Okay, so, it's 332 right now. I do have this target in mind. We just got a nice little move down to the downside there as the cash cow that is AMC continues to work for us. And again, you're still up that 3% today. A great move for anybody long AMC today. You had a great top at 53. I'm going to use this as my out right now, 51.70. We break back above that. We'll give it a little bit of room and then get out because that might have been the flush to the downside for sure. We've already flushed a couple times there. It got me out that first time before ripping to the upside there. So now we'll wait to see if that flush works one more time and gets me out above VWAP. So we'll watch that a little bit. If not, man, we're going to try to hold this and see where these imbalances do finally come out at. And that's going to be that. Another reload opportunity, and I didn't do it, too busy looking at other things, with AI. AI comes all the way back down to 49 flat there, or I guess 49.02 or 03. That would have been a nice spot to get out, get back in. You're only up to 49.15 here, but still 15 cents is 15 cents. We're in the money 7 cents, and we want a hell of a lot more than that. I think, especially with this futures move, we're getting back to green here on the market. So why can't this take off as well? That's going to be my thing. So let's wait to see if AI wants to take off. Trox came all the way back in here. This is going to be a nothing burger. Little bit of a loss in all of this, but now that we come back into the downside here, looks like we'll get taken out if we do take out this 22.75 area where we're long. We're long at 20. We're long right here. But look at them starting to stack the offer upside here, and I don't know. I mean, that's a stacked offer on ARCA, but we'll wait to see. Actually, it's not really. Let's see if it follows it down again. Did it just get hit there? I'm not sure. There it is. Yeah. So now we're following it down to 01s. ARCA and MEMX. I have ARCA listed twice here. I got to get that off. We don't need it twice. But there it is. See how it just fell? And then it got taken out. So it only went as low as 97 there on Trox and then got taken back out. So wow, there it is, man. If you saw that guy get hit and you're fast enough there, you could have just made about 20 cents or so on that. I guess 15 cents, 97 to 13 there. But that was a good move there for Trox.
That's what I like, dropping a little bit of science there. That's why we show you guys the level too, for those that aren't able to see it, right? there's an advantage in being able to look at the price action there. I showed you guys where the offer was sitting, so we got that ATER at 17, 78. And it's going to turn around. I mean, it got to that cluster anyway, so it was likely to slow down no matter what when it got into this range here. So I'll walk away. After it broke to the upside, so it broke that 1750, I'm not going to go short anymore. I said if it had failed to break through this level on this little push to the upside, it will turn into a short at 1675. That didn't happen, obviously, so I won't be shorting it. So there we are. Like I've been saying time and time again, where I find these afternoon shorts, I got to start reversing and think the other direction when they show some strength. That's what we do over here in ATER. For Tesla, who everyone's all mad that I'm shorting. For those of you that are like trolling and like, oh yeah, hate this guy for shorting Tesla, man, if you watch this show for a lot longer of a time, when I used to wear the pink shorts all the time on Tesla, you probably would hate me. It's about day trading and price action. I actually tried to buy the dip on Tesla and was dead wrong about the 720 level. Well, at least I looked the gift horse in the mouth on the 720 level and then thought that it was going to drop further, or at least closer to 700 to catch a bit of a bid, and then didn't re-long around that 720. So it's just a cacophony. Can I say cacophony? Or a collection of errors, I suppose, on Tesla today. I don't want to compound it by giving this too much room. I've already taken a quick scalp out for like a 2.5 win here. I have not added to it. It keeps testing this 742 from the morning, which this is that level here, 742, before it turned around. At this point, this close to the close, I can't really think about giving this to the 745, the top end of the range, pre-market highs, so I will tighten the stop up, if only because we're now in the last 25 minutes of the market, where generally speaking, we're flat at the end of the day. Usually here, I'm tightening up stops on positions. You're thinking about taking less of a win, so I'll take this bid, I'll go ahead and cancel it. I'd probably be covering in the 34 to 36 range if it were to come down anyways. We are running out of time for the bigger moves, and we have to be flat at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, valid. And I think that's the whole point here, is that we do have to be flat heading into 4 o'clock. So on that note, all of you may be happy with what's just happened, because AMC there, woohoo, feeling like Superman today on this name, and we'll get out of it right there as it cracks right through VWAP and we get out. So that's going to be a nice trade for me, about $1 there on the last shares of AMC, $1.03 or $4, $5. We made a lot of that money today, and it's my number one stock, AMC, to go with. Microsoft as well, a nice stock for me today. We bottom picked that one like crazy, and got it out, got a nice piece out up in this chunky area. Come on, let's go. I mean, there we go. Same area here. I'm just looking at the AMC. This is, my chart's not flipping in the background. This area right here, 295.80 or so. That was a good area on Microsoft. And I wish I could show you the 10-minute chart, but let's see if it's loading up there. There it is. Okay, let's change the sides. So on a 10-minute chart, you still have Microsoft. Again, I like this name, getting dragged down by the NASDAQ, right? We've had 5 or 6 straight days now negative, especially if we can't hold today, that's going to be 6. So you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days straight to the downside of Microsoft. But every day, into the close has had a little bit of negativity into it. Today, we're actually starting to head to the upside right now. So this is a good sign. I believe the NASDAQ should be able to hold here into tomorrow. So let's wait to see. Apple, 149.50, still not doing anything. So again, look at these bottoms, man. 148.50, great bottoms there for Apple. That might be something to bottom pick as well.
Yeah, so out of the last of that Tesla, fortunately it couldn't have turned into a loser because we had taken some profit on it and had a good long that we made some money this morning. I didn't get that Pfizer. I think I mentioned today. Yeah, maybe we mentioned it in the morning show. I think we mentioned it last week. Pfizer down at this 44.50 level, right at that 50-period moving average would be an interesting buy, and where I'd start adding shares. I mean, I haven't added it on the way up since we were in like the 30s and the low 30s and the 40s, but now is a good point on the pullback to be able to catch some. Oh, I see, really? So I really did think that this thing was going to give that entry off the top. I really thought it was going to push the high. Now we're right back down into like 1470. I mean, I guess we still have enough time that if it were to break this 1470 area this high from noon, and then you had a parabolic move, and then it's held 1470 to 1480 a couple of times, you could still break this level to the downside, and then it would give you, 20, 30 cent possible shot halfway down into this consolidation, and then maybe down into VWAP if you get a chance. So I'd still do it on IC, but the volume needs to hold up. I mean, it did pick up on the way to that lower high, I want to call it, but unfortunately it didn't go to the level that I liked. ATER for the bulls, yeah, for you bulls out there, this is holding up pretty nicely, at least for now. I don't think it seems like, I don't know if it has a move towards this 19 high from earlier in the session. But it is worth noting. You pop to the daily chart, and even at that 19, like there's room till you get to like this 21 level for formerly Mohawk here. If it continues this trend to the upside, like that 20 to 21 is kind of where you think this should be ending or turning around a little bit more sharply. So maybe this is the day. Maybe it makes a push there after market. I'm not seeing enough volume to stretch it there now. That's why we took a scalp trade, but it could certainly do it. And if it doesn't do it today, I'll be looking for that 20 to 21 at some point tomorrow.
Yeah, look at Ford here on the daily chart. Oh no, our daily chart won't load it pretty good because we have all those. Damn it, we have all those wicks. But here, let me call a 20-minute chart down for you, right here. So it's held this 1275, 1280 for a while, and we actually stuck around down there for a bit today before starting to take off. So as the S&P turns positive right here on the day, you can see this Ford play. I still think Ford is a great. Obviously, I think it's a great longer-term play, but I also think here that we've made this move and we may be just turning around now. It's nice to see, look, at the end of the day, bang, bang at the end of the day again, and then today we're going to the upside. So I think Ford maybe tomorrow we see it's above 13 here, and then even looking at this 1320. So we're not too far away from Ford starting to pop again, I believe, anyways. What's up, Brendo?
I keep seeing this Life, ATYR, little one from this morning. If you remember, there was positive cancer-related data on this one. So just popping up here again, guys, trying to hold 8, making a run for day highs.
All right, it doesn't look like AI. We'll look at Life in a second. I just want to talk about this because we just dumped down there about 10 cents on this one. I wish we could hold this into the imbalances, but again, I'm just going to stay real on this and try to preserve as much as we can on this trade. I mean, we've already gotten this out up here, for 20, 30, 40 cents or so. What was that best one? 35 cents. So, if we drop this down here and we break through 8.70, then yeah, we don't mind getting out there. So that's something that we'll have to look out for here on AI on this downside movement right now. So watch out here for AI looking like it wants to take out this bottom. That's what we're going to get out right now, 48.80 or so on that break we got on AI, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And I did get into IC, so it's just, it's under the wire. I know it's getting a little bit later in the session here, but it's just under the wire. It made this break. It did not make this move into 1488. That's a dark pool print. Really, it's come back to about mid 70s or so like 10 cents out of the money. But it is held. This cluster here, you're going to see that goes up to 1485 and again at 1485. So as long as we're below that, I think we're okay. I don't love the idea of just sort of hanging into a stock that's done this. Consolidate, run. I don't want to be holding on to that at 350. So if it hasn't really broken out of this range, I could consider just covering it before 350 does come. Good question. Sherveen asking about Robinhood, and that caught my eye in the chat because I do not remember the last time I pulled up a chart of Robinhood, and that's kind of weird because when it came to market, it was like we traded this stock probably, Sean, I don't know.
I agree 100%.
Every day we were all over this stock, right? So it's, I don't know when the last time it was. You just saw the daily chart there, but a small volume spike. Okay, it's still at $40, eh? Yeah, look at this bottom on Robinhood. So yeah, okay, double bottom. That's more like 39.80 or so double bottom, and the same consolidation it put in last time. I guess like 14.75 was resistance. So, and then you have these peaks. Yeah, you know what? Until it gets above 40.75, it hasn't really broken back out from that double bottom. So you need to get back above that 40.75. Maybe it's worth a little something if it shows some buying and some volume into this range here. And then for the day trade, let's talk about whenever it takes out this 42.50 area here. Like it gets through this price level, and then you have some room to the upside to 45, 46, those types of things. Hey, my trades are showing up. From when the last time I traded, Robinhood was shorting it at 50, which was good this time, and clearly was not good this other time. Oh, I remember this. Oh my goodness, I remember exactly what happened on this day. I was shorting that 50 level, was fantastic, and then the next day when it came up, I was like, if it breaks this, I should be allowing it to break the top because it had a high from the week before, and I didn't let it check into this one. So the first time you short off this level, and then the second time through, I should have patiently allowed it to break and then fail to get through the 52 high. And I probably said exactly the same thing when it happened at the time, and now I'm just repeating myself because I saw the chart. But hey, a lot of times you see a level like that and it works the first time, you don't just immediately jump in front of that same level on a parabolic move. Sometimes you've got to be patient and wait for a higher level to get in short.
Yeah, we love that patience game and make sure that you're on that, man. You never know where it's going to go. And I'm trying to be patient with AI right now as well to see if this can make a move, but it looks like it just wants to tick around here again at this bottom. So let's try to find out here. We'll take a look at the Canadian imbalances. I don't think there's...
All small sells.
Yeah, CVE there. They've been on there before. Suncor, so just a couple of things in the oil patches there. BC and Enbridge, so nothing worthy there. We will check out the mocks or the imbalances for New York in 5 minutes. Yeah, you brought life to us as well there, Brendan. We looked at LIFE a little bit there, 830. That's just bouncing around. We talked about Ford. As I'm trying to find some other names for you that are just kind of starting to move for once right now. GDXJ, obviously we know what that is. That's this gold miners. Oh, AMD. I want to get in that when I started the show here. Okay, AI is probably going to get me out. AMD, again, nice bottoms down here. If we can find that again tomorrow, 103, I think that's going to be a good one. And if I think the NASDAQ's going to go up tomorrow, which I do, then yeah, this is a good trade, man. I like AMD. AMD here on a 10-minute chart. We've looked at this over and over again today. Even, we looked at this earlier on, this 103 level. Looks like it could hold. I don't know if my daily chart's any good on AMD. No, it's not. Maybe we can zoom in just a little bit more here and give this to you. That's where the 50 period is, right? This is why we look at 103. It's not just randomly cherry picking levels here, guys. Like, here's 103 right here. We're actually looking at this level to go short, to protect this 103 level. So that should have been bought this morning on those dips. We missed that. But again, that's a spot that I like there on AMD, a 103 long. So if we do pop, we have some support down there. So again, buying calls or anything like that into this 103, 104 area to me makes a lot of sense. I really do think the next stop is up here, and then we come back to highs. So watch out for AMD here. I still think they have a good report coming. Next report, their last one, rocketed them up here, ding, 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 all the way to the upside. So 103, great support for AMD, and I just think you need to keep hitting that, especially if we get back there. Hopefully tomorrow we won't miss out on that one. That's a good opportunity there on AMD.
Yeah, there was some interesting, because there's so many price levels that came in when we flushed in the morning that you're going to miss out on some of them. GameStop, by the way, I mean, I was probably more interested in this one if it had happened a little bit sooner. Now we're at 346, so I just got that IC. But here comes that 201 to 200 area on GameStop. So if you're one of the bulls who you're holding on for life, you're looking for a bigger swing, or maybe you got into this long when it broke out. Hey, wipe out bottom on GameStop, and then here's your consolidation. I mean, not right at 190, 192 here, maybe a little bit lower than that. Either way, we break out from those levels, so it kind of doesn't matter at this point. And then you're trying to break back above this high. So closing above 201, 202 is a pretty strong bullish sign here for GameStop. I had thought this move was going to test 210. It never did. Above that price, it's just, I don't even know if I'd mess too much with the 210 if it came in tomorrow. I think you'd be looking at the 215 area, which failed a couple of times on the way down. It could blow through 210 if we hold 200. Just my 2 cents there. But GameStop, probably not going to make that day trade for me now. If you're watching ATER, that was a good long opportunity. I don't think about buying the dip here at 347 though, as it's starting to come back in. I'm also not shorting 1675 either. I suppose if this thing felt like a rock at 350, and you got that 1550 that Sean mentioned earlier at the beginning of the show, I think, or 3 o'clock, probably said it. Yeah, if it just falls like a rock, like $1.50 from here and doesn't halt into the close, there might be like a snap buy that could come in. But ATER, I only say that because it did make a $1 drop earlier, like right before we came on, right as we came on the show. So I wouldn't put it past it to make that kind of a move. I won't be touching it. I will just trade IC until the close, unless I see, unless I see something else that's more interesting.
Let's hope you don't see anything.
The problem with IC is it's like there's no getting away from that pun. Like I can't.
No.
I need a thesaurus or something. I don't know. Whatever.
We talked about SDC falling back down into tomorrow, so I think that might have already started right here. SDC, we just talked about this at 620, 630. It dropped all the way down to 6 there. Now it's starting to make a move back to the upside. We did actually pull out a longer period here. We're right at that 50-period moving average. Again, that's a good sign for me there. And if we really like the name, I don't love it, but if I did, that would be a good breaking spot. But again, right into this coverage here, 650, it's like $7. I just think that this is probably, again, being squeezed today. You see some of these high volume days, bang there. I don't know what this volume was. That might have been a squeeze play again. Like, look at the last time we squeezed. So last time we started right here, 524, we squeezed up to 627. Look at today, we start at 531, we squeeze up to 630. So that's the exact, I mean, let's just zoom in here. This is the exact same move right here that happened, right? And you're gonna close, this is today, right? September 13th. You're gonna close down here. So, I mean, well, we'll see where we close. We may close up here, and that candle's gonna stay. But if we close back down here, which there's only 10 minutes left, we may not. This is the exact candle, pretty much, guys. Opening right here, 5:30, ripping up to the high of the day of 628, and then closing the day at 540, right? This one's holding up a little bit better. So we'll see where SDC goes, but I wouldn't be surprised if this closes a little bit lower, mimicking that candle. So there you go. Sometimes you do have to go backwards before you go forwards. And I mean, right now, that's the same candle. Let's just see where this closes. And then tomorrow, though, if we take out 630, then we'll go bulls running here and we'll go to the upside. So we'll put this on our radar for tomorrow. SDC to try to take out its high of 640 or so from today. If that happens, then we're bullish on this name.
So I saw the comment in there asking about the short interest on support and saying Ortex has it at 96%. Is that correct? All I can tell you is and Brennan, of course, giving this to us from Refinitiv, we see 28. Every source is a little bit different. I know there are some out there that claim to be more real time. These are all estimates for the most part. That's a pretty wide gap between the most recent we got from Refinitiv at 28 and then 96%. Either way, support is down 10% now on the session, and it looks like we might open up tomorrow, testing last week's bottom here at 1765, and I guess more importantly, this $18 level here. So support coming right back into the last line of, whoops, that's the wrong way, the last line of support. And let's remember, below these prices, yeah, it gets pretty interesting because this whole thing really broke out when it took out the $10 range. So below this, I guess 1750 to 18 area gets pretty ugly on support. Brendan?
I just saw F-Cell here. Fuel cell guys back above some significant levels. They're trying to hold some significant levels. 550 was that last low on the daily chart. We did dip below that this morning. All kinds of volume this morning on F-Cell. And that could be why. Earnings tonight, aftermarket along with Oracle, and that's about it.
I mean, there's only 3 of them. You could at least say sea change. I don't know. We're hating on sea change here. No, it's I know Oracle, probably the one that, I'll be paying attention to Oracle just because I've had it for a while. F-Cell, it's a lot of volume, but this is like barcode central, man. Here's the thing. I think the last time we saw a chart like this, I made the comment that I'm telling you, man, if you own an ATS, you're just printing money on some of these. 20 million shares, and most of the range, all afternoon, it's been a 10-cent range. Outside of the morning, really, it's had a lot of, orderly action here. And wow, ATER, so I guess there was a little something to still be done here. I gave up on the long, and now we're through 8. Well, I might have jinxed it. I just said now we're through 18. Okay, now we're through 18. It just broke 18 even, so might not have to wait for that 19. I didn't think it looked strong enough for a potential run to that 20 to 21 area in the aftermarket. I suppose that could be on here, but it still has to break the current high of the day, which is $1 away with 7 minutes to go. So I don't know, feels like a little bit of a long shot. Kind of the same thing. Yeah, I was about to make a joke about a certain football team. I'll leave the Detroit Lions alone and go to Brendan.
We were talking, we started the afternoon show off, guys, by talking about Apple here. There was a hack, apparently. They've already fixed it. So they released a patch this afternoon that'll apparently block this exploitation or this loophole that they found. So Apple already patching that problem, guys.
There you go.
Yeah.
See? There you go. So Apple reporting that, and that's good. And that's the thing. You're not going to... as soon as they find out about these things, it's game over. They can get those fixed. There's Oracle right there. This is the New York imbalances and the NASDAQ imbalances, but Oracle listed on the NYSE. So here we go. Vion, a sponsored ADR. There's nothing there. It's like $2 stock, not moving. Oracle, this is a 10-minute chart. I guess we should have a 1-minute chart up if we're going to look at this. Where is my 1-minute chart? There it is. So let's have a quick look at this. Oracle not really moving on this imbalance. Verizon's not going to do anything. Ford with a sell. Okay, give us some more opportunity to buy it, but that's not going down at all. And then other than that, man, we're only looking at M's. Twitter's had a rough day. We talked about that, but it looks like it's trying to bounce a little bit now, still down that 3%. So that's that. Not much there on the imbalances. We'll look back at it if anything does happen. Okay, so C3 AI. All right. Can we draw better lines than that? This is right there. right down in, I mean, that's going to be too low, but right down in there at 48.90 or so. I mean, how many times have we bounced off that? That's exactly where we're long, 48.97. We just took another piece out. I'm holding out for something maybe to pop in the last 5 minutes, but we do have an offer outside right now before 20, and then maybe we get the ultimate pop to VWAP. We do have one more offer out there, and then if I'm stuck in this, then I'm stuck in this, and we'll wait. Neil just talked about F-Cell there. If you want to talk about Oracle coming through, I don't ever expect too much from them. Again, you know, there could be some announcements of, you know, them buying different things and spending some cash there. But Oracle, again, about as steady as they come. If you look at a daily chart, let's go over here. Just really doing absolutely nothing. Dead money since July, but that's fine. I mean, the market right now is pulling back in. So right now, Oracle, I would say this is the kind of earnings play that I like to make a call on. But unfortunately, this is Oracle, and I know it's not going to move too much. It does have these big movements, though. If they do surprise out of nowhere, we could get a take out of 92. But I'm almost looked the other way to the downside if I was going to play anything, just because of the kind of negativity that we've had in the market over the last little while. That's all. But I mean, I don't really have, you know, as far as business and everything, the cloud, data storage, everything, I mean, they're in the right spaces, so no real thoughts on Oracle. But, you know, we'll see what it does. So probably uneventful. But hey, any big spikes, so my play tomorrow will be any big spikes up or down, I want to fade those because I think it returns to its, you know, mean at some point, Oracle.
Yeah, like IBM, it just sort of did well when the old guard was having their nice run mid-year, or even earlier than that. I mean, I just saw you guys put in the chat here. I see you, Steve and Raju, talking about any. Yeah, big volume spike, and this wasn't 350. Like, this isn't like off imbalances or anything. I don't really see. If there was news here, I don't see it. If there's a technical break, I don't see it either. But it spiked all the way and directly. If you're ever looking where to fade these things, if you don't see any news, I mean, right into 665, which was the pre-market level that it fell from at 930, and then turning right back around. It's already cut this thing in half almost, back down to 640. Like I said, I don't really see any reason why this has happened. The stock has been coming back a little bit, and I know, famously tried to do a reversal on this stock at $7. Was it last week? Yeah, it was last week. I think on Tuesday or Wednesday, I suppose. Tried to do a reversal to the long side. It ends up holding this like 575 to 6 even area. If it were to break, this looks pretty ugly breaking 665 here because you have chopped to 7. So I'd say let's get excited if this stock is above like 750 and making a test of these levels to the upside. Unless you have it all the way down here and are giving it like a 10% stop, which on small caps that tends to be too little of a move. You got to give it more than that if you think it's going to be a good trade. I have no choice but to cover the rest of this IC, because there is literally 3 minutes left and it's right up at that 1485 area. So looks like it did not have enough juice to get through. I'll use that down move that it just put in to get out and walk away now flat for the day with 3 minutes left. Affirm will be the trade of the day because it was wild, it was crazy, and there's a lot we can learn from trying to buy the dip when something you like is absolutely falling like a rock, and where to get in, how to take advantage of some obvious sellers in level 2, and we sort of talk about that as well. Because Affirm, it's now doing absolutely nothing at 110 all afternoon, but I tell you, there was nothing that was more exciting, you know, when this thing fell right at the morning, or so right at the open, just dropping like a rock, $15 in a row after being so strong for so many weeks. Yeah,
that was super fun, Affirm this morning, and we had a lot of trades there, and it was a good one for us, and that'll be the trade of the day. I mean, we could have done AMC as well. AMC out, I mean, look, this is the thing. We got out right where we did, and then it went up a little bit, it went down a little bit, and we're just right at that same price. So if we held that even to the close, we'd be getting it at the same price right now, 75. So there's AMC, just a quick little update on that one. C3AI, still 7 cents in the money. I don't know. That's going to do nothing. Clover is going to be a call for me. I still think that Clover has a chance to go. It goes to sleep a little bit today. Only 16 plus million shares for Clover. It's kind of the forgotten one here. But you guys can see this. The volume on Clover can pick up without any problems. We just had it the other day upside here, 160 million shares, something like that on that day. So today, this is what I'm talking about. You're back to sleepy land. So don't forget about Clover, man. It could get going at some point. So, whether or not you buy it at 838 or any price, I don't know. This is a name that I think is a sleeping giant that is going to get woken up again at some point. It seems like it wants, that's August 13th and then again on September 7th. So maybe we have to wait a little bit more. Let's let's just pan this out. So that's about here. So maybe October 6th, Clover maybe pops. But no, just kidding aside, I do like Clover for a long here, especially off the 10-minute. We just came all the way back down, like non-stop to the downside here. You would say the trend is your friend and you should be short this, but let's just watch out to see what does happen here. We resisted off 830. Let's see if it can hold that. And I just think tomorrow there could be a play there on Clover. So we'll wait. C3AI doing absolutely nothing. I'm glad we did get out the last piece there at 05 again. Some back-to-back outs right there with only now 30 seconds to go right now. It's been a fun day. Thank you for watching. Memes and Movers was good. Our opening show was good. I think we did a hell of a job again right now with only 20 seconds to go, guys.
Yes, sir. Speaking of Memes and Movers, till 2 o'clock. So that was fantastic. Miss V and Trader Pratt and Miss V doing a fantastic job. Life at highs of the day as we drop the countdown. Why not? That's a strong one. But Miss V is on the bell. The market is barely negative on the NASDAQ. 5, 4, 3, 2. It could do it. Maybe. Oh, not going to get there.
We'll see. We'll get
That's
a
so
little
close.
closing tick on the NASDAQ.
That's close.
And we will be very close to going positive. We did go positive on the big board, though. The S&P, a nice one. Let's just double check that with Brendan.
I wanted to wait, refresh my board, but I don't think we got there. Let's see. I'll show it to you guys. I don't think we got there. It was just right at the end there. We got another uptick, but 0.04 would appear to the downside for the NASDAQ. But yeah, these two both ending 5-session losing streaks. So a nice move there, 0.6 almost for the Dow and the S&P, 0.25%. Brazil winning the day, 1.8% to the upside. Yeah, look at that. Ethereum got back to positive as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's, wow. I was about to say it's a really strong comeback in the market, and then I looked over at Life, and that's breaking the high of the day. So that one is the one. It's like it's the big mover. It's not the 100% club because it's up 75%, but the only thing breaking and continuing to run, we'll have to watch that one in tomorrow. Firm is going to be the trade of the day. I need some help from Mark Andrews to beat Sean in week 1. Otherwise, he's going to hand me the defeat in fantasy football.
I just hope I lose anyways because I keep one of my keeper quarterbacks. I don't even play him.
You kept him.
What was I doing?
He's done a better Roethlisberger.
It was a QB1 I think this week maybe 30.
He threw 5 touchdowns. I'm going to assume he was.
Well, Kyler Murray was.
Well, he was a beast.
Nuts too. Okay, fantasy football reigns the day. But thank you for trading. I had over 300 fills today, so very exciting day. I want to thank Maggie and Lucas on the big board there one more time, and then thank of course Miss V and Trader Prad, and also there's Miss V. What up? I don't know if Prad's still there. He is. What up, Lehman Brothers Risk Management, baby. That's why he's working here now. But all kidding aside, thanks for the hat.
Or would he be?
Yeah, exactly. But thank you so much for watching, guys. We will be back tomorrow on a Tuesday. See ya and sleep well. Good luck to Oracle owners.
Bye-bye.
Bye.